Much everybody, and we appreciate you being here. This is a witch hunt, the likes of which probably nobody has ever seen. We've put on a case that is absolutely 100%. There's not a judge in the country that wouldn't have given us a total victory, but there's not a judge in the country that would have even taken this case. This is a witch hunt, and it's a very corrupt trial. Now, we won this case. We won this case at the appellate division. Most of it, we cover about 90% of the case. We won this case at the appellate division, and this judge refuses to acknowledge the appellate division. He said very specifically, we're going forward because there's something wrong here. We won this case. Remember this division, and this judge refuses to acknowledge the appellate division. He said very specifically, we're going forward because there's something wrong here.
Day 41 of the New York Attorney General civil fraud trial, Donald Trump arriving right there. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. A panicky, mumbly, bumbly Donald Trump shows up as the trial is reaching its conclusion. Eric Trump was supposed to testify yesterday, and that testimony would potentially have gone into today. But Eric decided that he wasn't going to testify during direct examination. So the key individual who was supposed to be the head of the organization during the relevant time period is not testifying during direct examination. That seems to make a lot of sense in terms of what people who believe they're not liable would do. Let's not have the key witness testify on direct examination. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Donald Trump posted on his social media platform, "I told my wonderful son Eric not to testify tomorrow at the rigged trial brought about by Attorney General Letitia James' campaign promise that without knowing anything about me, quote, I will get Trump. She ran for AG, then governor of New York, and lost. Eric has already testified perfectly, unlike their star witness who admitted that he lied." So Eric Trump testified under cross-examination, and he did a horrible job. Why wouldn't you have your own witness testify on direct examination where your lawyers can ask the questions to help Eric explain to the judge if you believe you're not liable? You go through the books, you go through your due diligence, you go through the numbers. You don't just have a cross-examination only, but look, this is an organization that, as the complaint alleged, engaged in systemic fraud over and over again. I want to show you this other clip right here as Donald Trump arrived today. And here Donald Trump just repeatedly says, as he did in that first clip that I showed you, get it through your heads. Get it through your heads. Here's what you need to know. We won. We won everything. We won in the appellate division. We won everything. We won 90% in the appellate division. We're the winners. And the judge is going along and having this whole trial, even though we won in the appellate division. Fact check, totally and utterly false. That is not what happened. Let me show you Donald Trump whining more, coping more. Let me show you this, then let's talk about it. Play this clip.
We won this case. Remember this. Just put it in your heads. This case was won at the appellate division, and the judge refuses to do what the appellate division demands he do. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. When you win in the appellate division, that's your high court. The judge has to be bound by what their decision is. Well, we won at the appellate division. Part of that victory was Ivanka, was not having to put herself through this, and they ruled that. But the bigger part of it was that about 90%, because of statute of limitations, about 90% of the case disappears. So remember this. We won the case at the appellate division, the high court, and this judge refuses to acknowledge that victory or that demand. Now that's very serious.
Again, that was from Donald Trump just moments ago as he arrived on day 41 of the New York Attorney General civil fraud case. You did not win in the New York Appellate Division. By the way, even if I accept arguendo, your own lies right there, you idiot just admitted that you did not win everything in the Court of Appeals in the Appellate Division. You're lying about everything that you said there, but you said we won 90% in the appellate division due to statute of limitations. So even if I accept your argument, wouldn't that mean that 10% still goes to trial? So you didn't win everything in the appellate division? But that's not what the appellate division said. As you actually point out, what the appellate division did say is that the statute of limitations as it relates to Ivanka removed Ivanka from the case because Ivanka said that she was not associated with the Trump organization during the relevant period. And because she said she had no formal association with the Trump organization and she threw her family members under the bus, that is why Ivanka is no longer in the case from the appellate division. But the appellate division looked back and said, here's the date of the statute of limitations. And if there was a continuous fraud, if past financial statements were being used during the relevant statute of limitations period, which extends back 6 years, then that falls within the statute of limitation. An ongoing fraud. What Trump's trying to argue is if we committed fraud in our initial initiating documents back in 2011, the 1990s, if we committed fraud in the initiating documents, that's when the statute of limitations runs. That's absurd. Judge Engoron said that's absurd. The New York Attorney General says that's absurd. The way it works is if you committed fraud back in the 1990s or before the statute of limitations, and then you used it during the period within the statute of limitations, then the statute of limitations has not run on those claims. It is within the statute of limitations if you continue to use that fraud within the time period.
Relaxing bathroom trips are great, but dealing with the aftermath, not so much. Wiping only spreads poo around. Give yourself the ultimate clean and turn your bathroom into a personal oasis with the refreshing stream of clean water from a Hello Tushy bidet. Now, I'm so glad I made the switch to a Hello Tushy bidet. Now I can go an entire day without an itchy bum or worrying about those, embarrassing skid marks on my underwear. Washing with a Hello Tushy bidet prevents poop particles from spreading to your hands and everything you touch. Hello Tushy attaches to your existing toilet, transforming it into a personal sanctuary. Make your post-bathroom experience even better with their precision nozzle adjuster, offering a targeted stream that provides an effective yet gentle clean that is 2 times better than wiping alone. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. Join the over 1 million real poopin' humans who've made the switch. Hello Tushy is offering our listeners an exclusive limited time offer of 15% off your first bidet order, plus free shipping. Go to hellotushy.com/Meidas for 15% off all bidets. That's hellotushy.com/Meidas and enter promo code Meidas at checkout. See site for details.
And so that's what this case is about as well, that there's fraudulent conduct taking place within the statute of limitation, both new fraudulent conduct as well as old fraudulent conduct, where those fraudulent documents are being used during the statute of limitations time period. I want to show you this final clip of Donald Trump as he's whining as he's entering court today. And this is where he says, and the judge made a valuation that's 50 to 100 times less what the valuation in Mar-a-Lago is. We hear this over and over and over again, whining about it. Here, play this clip.
So we're going in now. We have an expert witness, one of the great experts in the country, and I hope you'll all be able to listen to him. But it'll just be another day. If you look at the case, we did nothing wrong. There were no victims. The bank loves us. The bank testified. They love us. We did absolutely nothing wrong. We never even defaulted. We never had a default letter sent to us. The bank said we were a perfect customer. The bank didn't even know why they were here. And yet you have people being murdered outside. All over the streets they're being murdered. There's violent crime. And this Attorney General, who's crazy, she's a lunatic. The Attorney General sits here because she knows that she has a judge, and no matter all the evidence, that judge is going to rule in her favor. He ruled against me before the case even started. The case hadn't started. He knew nothing, and he ruled against me. The other thing is this. He valued Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, because that was good for her case, at a value of $18 million, when in fact it's worth anywhere from 50 to 100 times that amount. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, but just remember what I said at the beginning. We wanted the appellate division, and this judge refuses to honor it. that victory or that decision or that demand.
Mr. George, why did you say you were a dictator? Did you watch the play last night? You think you really won?
You know, and as I've said before, the judge isn't making valuations. The judge isn't an appraiser. The judge isn't a financial expert. The judge is looking at what the undisputed facts are. He's looking at what the experts are saying. He's looking at what the undisputed facts are. What do your own documents say? Your own documents say, Donald Trump, that the Mar-a-Lago property is not a residential property. You classified it as a commercial property. You intentionally devalued the property, number one, to pay less property taxes, and number two, to classify it as a club so you could take in memberships so other people could pay for the property. Club memberships. So by having this as a club, not a residential property, it is not valued like the nearby residential properties. And as I've said, I could see a world where Mar-a-Lago would be valued at $250 to $300 million if it was a residential property in that area. But that means you'd have to pay property taxes on it. It's definitely not valued at $1 billion or $1.5 billion. It's not the most expensive property in the history of the United States of America. So that's false. But you wanted to say it's $250, $300 million. So then the question is, are you paying property taxes at that valuation? The answer is no. Is it a residential property to get that valuation? No. It's a commercial property encumbered by historical deeds so you could pay less taxes, which you did. And your own paperwork, your own signatures, your own documents is what states that that property is valued at under $27 million. And that's where it is. Those are just the facts. So as we head to the conclusion of this trial, Eric Trump not testifying for direct examination. Donald Trump is set to testify December 11th. We'll see if that's moved up at all based on the pace of this. The witness today, the expert witness who's testifying today, is someone by the name of Eli Bartov, who testified in another similar a New York Attorney General 631-12 case, which is the same kind of statute being used here. You know how Donald Trump says, this case has never been brought before. It has been brought before many times before. It was brought against Exxon back in 2019, for example. And this expert, Eli Bartov, actually testified for the New York Attorney General's office back in 2019, who's testifying today. He did a horrible job, though, back in 2019 and became kind of a persona non grata in that world of kind of expert testimony, at least from the perspective of the New York Attorney General, now testifying for Donald Trump. He kept on calling Exxon Enron in the 2019 testimony that he gave. He didn't even know who the entity was that was on trial. So we will keep you posted of what's going on, but that's where we're at today. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Have a great one.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.